Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vyatani Shacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mamuttara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnama Iti Shri Mahashri Sutrani Ayun Rulruk A Ong Ai Ouch Hayavarat Gan Nyamanga Na Nam Jabain Garadash Jaba Garadash Kapha Cha Cha Tha Cha Cha Tav Kapai Sha Sha Sar Hal Iti Mahashri Sutrani. Okay, I think last time you're looking at this verse which was number 50, Panchashattama Shlokaha. So 50th Shlokaha says, Anviyesha Sadrishim Sachasnasham Prapa Chainam Manukula Vagvijaha Sadya Eva Sikritam Hipachyate Kalpa Vriksha Phaladharmi Kankshitam. So one more time. Anviyesha Sadrishim Sachasnasham Prapa Chainam Manukula Vagvijaha Sadya eva sukritam hipachyate kalpa vriksha phaladharmi kankshitam. Okay, and you see in the commentary, we already went through last week with the padanvayaha, also to the commentary. We're looking at some basic things, is the, which is the, always look at with tingantam padam, or we can start from that. That is the heart of the sentence. There are two of them in this shloka. One is anviyesha. Anviyesha, and another one is the, actually there are three of them, so there are three of them in the shloka. Anviyesha, Parapa, and Pachyate. Anviyesha, Parapa, and Pachyate. So, and Anviya, I think we're looking at that homework, Anviyesha. Anviyesha is dhatu anu plus ish. Anu plus ish. You know, ish, you know, ichayam, so it is a, to desire. But anvish is to, anu ish is to search, to look for. So, that's what we were, the meaning we can get. So again, we read this text so that we can get the meaning of these upasargas also. So because otherwise, you know, grammar will not give you that. What in fact, Malinasa doesn't even bother to comment of this because he says anviyesha, that's all he gives. And he says Rama Vivaham, actually he does give that. Rama Vivaham Achakanksha Ityarthaha. Achakanksha. So what equation has he given us? How to write this equation down? You know what he's telling us, how this dhatu meaning has changed. So what he's telling us simply is that these are the equations that you have to keep in your mind. Of course, dhatus have different various meanings. So dhatu nam bahava arthaha samavanti. It's a famous statement. So there are many meanings that are possible. But at least in this context, based on what Mulyatha is giving us, is anu plus the dhatu ish. Anu plus ish is, in this meaning wise, is getting equal to kanksh. Kanksh is the meaning. So kanksh. So that's the meaning. Dhatu kanksh. Kanksh is desire. So this dhatu comes in Gita also. Let's inaugurate Gita. Not anvish. I don't know if it comes kanksh. Kankshan chakarmanam siddhim yajantiha devataha. So kangshan taha karmanam siddhim yajantiha devataha. So it comes in Gita. Let's see if we can go to Gita. So generally you'll find one of these dhatus will come in the Gita. So kanksh is to desire. Simple things.
Satishji?
Yes.
Nakangshe Vijayam.
Yeah, Nakangshe, very good. Vasu is coming strong today. Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna Rajyam Sukhani Cha. Nakangshe Vijayam. I'm not looking for, not desiring. Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna. I'm not, Arjuna says, I don't want victory. Rajyam Sukhani Cha. Very good. So that will be in the first chapter itself. So as I said, even if you have limited amount of time and don't have interest in grammar, at least read the Gita. So that will be the simplest, best thing you can do. Nakangshe. Here it is. Gita number 132. Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna Rajyam Sukhani Cha. Kinno Rajyena Govinda Kyum Bhogai Jivitena Va. So I don't desire victory, nor the kingdom, nor pleasures, is what he's saying. The Kangsha desire, so to look for, to search for, to long for. These are various shades of meaning of that same dhatu. Now, how did we know that from the commentary? Because Mulinatha clearly said is that Snusham Anviyesha, he was looking for a bride, means that Vivaham Achakangsha. If you know what, this equation may not be perfectly correct in this because he has changed it slightly, Because he's saying that he was looking for a bride, means he desired to get him married. So maybe we won't put the equation like this because he has changed the mean the sentence. Because Anu plus Yesh will not really mean Kangsha exactly. Because he said that, Snusham Anviyesha means Sadrishi means Anurupam Snusham Anviyesha means he was looking for, he was searching for an appropriate bride for Sri Ramaha. That he has rephrased that whole sentence into saying that Rama Vivaham Achakangsha Ityarthaha means he desired to get Sri Rama married. That's what he said. So that it's not exactly the same because he replaced the Snusham with the Vivaham. That's why now it's not referring to the same thing anymore. Okay. So we won't put that equation like that. Because if you had left the Snusham as it is, and then said Anviyesha equals Achakangsha, then we could say that. But now he has made slight change. In fact, one more thing, he made Akanksha. Akanksha. Not only Kam, but he put Akanksha. Let's derive these forms quickly. I think there's not only one special word, I think, which Karthik was talking about last time. So let us start with the, remember one thing, in this entire Lakara Prakriya, the Upasarga is a Puthak Padam. It does not participate at all in the Prakriya at all. It's a separate Padam. So you can leave the Anu as it is and then take Dhatu. Always the first step is Dhatu-ish. Take whatever the Dhatu is with the Lakara. So this step everybody in the class should know. Very simple step is Dhatu Lakara. Okay. The second thing, generally what you want to do is remove the it letters of the dhatu, of the lakara I should say, sorry, which is in this case halantyam upadesh ajjananasika it, and leave only the la behind. And then apply 3, 4, 78. That's just the second step. So these two steps generally we should, the first step is definitely, there's no choice over there. Second step also most of the time, this should also work. So now we'll just put la like that because we applied Upadesh Arjuna Nasika it, and also the halantyam. So simple thing, so we got that. Now the third step is to bring in the appropriate Pratyaha Tip Tajji as among those 18 listed in 3478, as per the Vivaksha, what they say, Vaktum Ichha, means what is the intent of this verb right now. Intent of this verb, if you look at the shloka quickly, is Saha. Saha is the subject of that. Saha, Dasharataha, Anviyesha. So clearly you're looking at the Pratham Purushasya Ekavachanam. So, and this is also looking at the ending over here. It's not the Apnepadam ending, it's the Parasepadam ending. So this is going to be the Pratyaya Tip. So this is the third step. Bring the Pratyaya Tip. As I mentioned, you may not know all the rules which go into forming these words, but if you can work from both sides, you know the answer. It's E-ye-sha. And so now let's see how far we can get. And then you can, look up one rule, because you may not know all the rules all the time. It's okay. Like in English also, we don't know all the rules all the time. So we know enough to look up the missing one quickly, E-ye-sha. So, in fact, here, actually, yesterday, after yesterday's class, Karthik showed me that I mentioned in the class yesterday that this Madhaviya Dhatu Vritti is not available online as such in the Unicode format, but at this Brown University, this professor has done a good job of putting it online in the scan format, So let's go there for 1 second, because as I mentioned, to any Dhatu Lakara Prakriya which you want to do, always keep the Dhatu Vritti open in your hand. Of course, if it's a very simple prakriya, or if it's repeated before, he will not repeat it for you. But all the lakaras, not every form, but is given enough for us to be able to derive the other forms. Okay. So this is the website here, which is the language.brown.edu. I think Kalpesh has put this on the Panini links. I have to double check that. But it's language.brown.edu /Sanskrit/Vyakarana. / Dhatu Pasha. If you can come to, in fact, I put the a link over here. So this is the one. This is where you want to come to. language.brown.edu /Sanskrit /Vyakarana /Dhatu Pasha. Okay, and then you can go to the index. Dhatu is the index. Again, this is not a editable file. It is only a photocopy, but it's okay. Let's see, Dhatu-ish is over here. So you can go A-I-E order. You can even search for Dhatu-ish, or you can also go in this one with the A-I-E, the order over here, the Akara, the Shuchi, which is the, Varnanukramena, means the alphabetical order. And here there are different words. Isha, Icha. I think we're looking at the Isha, Ichayam. This is the one that we are looking at, Isha, Ichayam. So very nicely he has put the Dhatu with the It letter, then the Dhatu without the It letters. So the Dhatu. So Anubandha Lope. So his first column is a Dhatu as opposed to Dhatu Patha. Second one is removed the It letter and showed you what was the It letter. It letter was the A. Okay? And gives the meaning, Ichayam. It's all in Dhatu Patha, Ichayam. Then he gives the Tudadi Gana Dhatu, Ichhati, right? And then I think this is the number in that Gana. And then he's giving this, actually I don't know what this number is, but the last one he's giving, I think, the page number. So then we go there. And then he is giving that. Yes, they're correct. That number 58 was a Dhatu in the Gana, the Kramanka in that Gana. So Gane Kramanka. So let's see what he's saying. He's giving some commentaries here, because the first thing he will give you is the Lakara Prakriya I mentioned to you. Now this one, I think this particular edition, I think is from the Mysore, published in South India, this particular book. I like the one published in the Haryana, the Ramlal Kapoor Trust better, because that's more user friendly. That gives sutra numbers in brackets. It gives the special forms in bold. It's basically the same text. It's more user friendly. The one that you can get from the Ramlal Kapoor Trust, Vijayapala with Vidyavaridhi. That one is more friendly, but this is good. It's online, so we can use that. Said Kechid Uditam Patanti. Some people say that this should have U as an it. Instead of making ish, it should be isha, it should be ishu. And so he makes some comments here. Then he talks about it. And then Tatha Kisicha. Okay, now here you can see here. In fact, even in this book, he has put the forms in a different type. So Ichhati, Ichhet. So that Iyesha, right? So he gives the form Iyesha. Iyesha he gives. Now he makes one comment over here. Okay, so let's follow this, because we have the form Iyesha. This would be nice if this was searchable, won't it? Because we could search for this one. If any of you want to type this one, it'd be really nice. Of course, I'm not asking you to volunteer, but if you have that time, if you can type this one, because see, this form Iyesha is already here, but we cannot search for this because it's not available in the soft format. But anyway, Iyesha is here. Ishatuhu. So he gives these two forms. So what are these two forms? This form is the Prasam Purusha Ekavachanam, Prasam Purusha Dvivachanam. So you can see the Pratyaya Atus is coming here. Okay. Of course, we want this one right now, Iyesha. Says Pititu Paratvat Gune Krite. So let's try to follow this. Piti. Piti means what? If the Pit Pratyaya follows. Pit means what? We have what? The 9 Pratyayas in Prasna Padam are what? Tip, Tasji, Sip, Thastha, Mip, Was, Must. I think that you should all know. Okay. I mean, I don't ask you to memorize anything, but one thing, if you really want to memorize again, is you have to memorize sutras only. Don't memorize anything else before you memorize sutras. Okay, don't memorize Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha, Bhavati, Bhavataha, Bhavanti. Please don't do that, because it is counterproductive in some ways. I mean, of course, as you read, you'll know those forms, but don't memorize, that's not worth it. But what I would like you to memorize first is these 2 sutras, which is the 18, endings, verbal endings, what Panini calls ting, is tip, tasji, sip, tasta, mipasmas, ta, atam, ja, and so on. These, so 3, 4, 78, and also if you can memorize 4, 1, 2, or at least keep it handy. Keep it on your wall somewhere, These 18 plus these 21. So just some, so just amor, chestabhyam, this, so these one. So these have to be handy at all times. Okay, it's very fundamental, very, very fundamental. So because why is very fundamental? Because every word in the language has to end in one of these 18 plus 21 equals 39. That's why it's very fundamental. So these have to be handy at all times. No matter how complicated the word might be. When I say word, I mean padam, supti antam padam. This word is difficult to translate in Sanskritam because sometimes, so anyway, what I mean is the padam. The padam has to be a supti antam padam. Clearly, Sutra says that supti antam padam. So this is also a very good exercise that you can do on your own. Is that take every padam in the Gita, okay? Take every padam in the Gita and see if you can map it. If you can map it to one of these 39, these 18 ting pratyaya which is given in 3478 plus the 21 supratyaya which are given in 412. See how many you can match them. Everyone has to eventually match. There was a pratyaya, all the avyayas. One more, you can put a footnote that every avyayam which indeclinables, they are using the pratyaya su as default. Okay. So there, because the su comes and goes, so the avyam is a separate category, but they also are subandhas. They also tinganta padam they have to take. So you just bring in the default pratyaya su and it gets taken away. But anyway, try to match as many as you can. Okay? So these are the 39. So this is these 18 plus 21. It's a very, very fundamental suptingantam padam. So coming back to what Saranacharya was saying, let me go back to that page. Okay. So what he's saying here, he's putting the pratyaya atus here. So now he's not going to tell you, and again, unlike in English books, in all this Vyahana Parampara, we start with the third person. English, what they call third person, comes as first in the Panini Parampara. So we can look at the sutram itself. It says, tip tajji. So tip is coming first. Then comes the others. Okay. So the third person in English is coming first over here. So ichchati, ichcheta. So same thing he's saying here, yesha ishatuhu. Now, firstly you want to understand that from this yesha, right, up to this one, the young, right, anyatra savarna dirgha. So from here, I know this type is kind of small, but I hope you can follow me. From this yesha, what I'm trying to understand is that which of this whole paragraph over here refers to lit prakriya. Because remember, I told you that Saranacharya will go in the order of the tit lakaras first, and then the nit lakara. The same order in the Siddhanta Kaumudi also. And Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, of course, same thing. Of course, in Panini, there's no such order like that, but in the Dhatu Vritti as well as the Siddhanta Kaumudi, it is the tit lakaraha, tat paschat nit lakaraha. And same thing, varnanukramena. So la, la, li, li, lu, lu, like that. So what we get? We'll get lut, lit, lut, lut, lot, lung, ling, vidiling, ashiling, then lung and rung. And so this is the order. You should have put in the document maybe. Anyway, I think you know. So let me put quickly. So what is the order in the order of the lakara prakriya in the Siddhanta Kaumudi as well as, because it's good to know, because otherwise how would you know what he's talking about? Because see, we started from here. Ichchati, ichchet, he gave some comment here. Okay, he get lit out. Then he gives the lit prakriya. So after lit he gives ichchati. Of course he did the load form also here. Okay, so then he started with the lit prakriya. So this is the order. This is the order in the okay. So we say lakara prakriya, lakara kramaha. Maybe I can put like that. Maybe lakara kramaha. Very, very simple thing, because they, it gives you your place in the book where you are, what to expect, what to expect. Because the simple things, I think most of you know that anyway. Dakara prakriya, kramaha. Okay, so it goes in this kramaha. It'll start with, it'll go with, no, this is in, I should put in the bracket here, the dhatu vrittihi. Dhatu vrittihi. As well as the, also Kaumudi. Kaumudi means Siddhanta Kaumudi, is for short. Okay, Kaumudi, Siddhanta Kaumudi. Remember, Dhatu Vritti precedes the Siddhanta Kaumudi. Because Saranacharya is about maybe, I don't know, maybe like about 600-700 years old, while the Kaumudi is maybe about 500 years old, 450, 500 years old. So it is because the Kaumudi had the advantage of seeing everything what the Dhatuvritti says, what Kashika said, everything. So of course sometimes there's also a small conflict, but so the Kaumudi holds the final place because it is the latest one. So okay, now so Kramaha will be like this. You take Lat. Lat will be the first one. Then after that will come Lit. Lit will be the second one. Then will come Lala, Li, Li, Lulu. So Lut will come next. Lut. So Lut will come next. Then L. So then will come Rit. Rit will come next after that. Rit. After that will come Lord. Will come Lord. Lord. And then now the Tit Lakaras are finished. Now again we go to the Nit Lakaras. So there we'll get Lung. Okay. Then La, La, Li, Li. So Lung, Ling. Ling will be next. Okay. And this will be, of course, Ashi-ling, Vidhi-ling. So Vidhi-ling and Ashi-ling. Vidhi-ling and Ashi-ling. Ashi-ling. Ashi. So these are the two. Okay, maybe I'll put a Vidhi-ling. Now we're doing it so detailed. Vidhi-ling, Ashi-ling. Okay. Vidhi-ling. Sorry. Vidhi-ling. Then Ashi-ling. Ashi-ling. Okay, Ashi-ling. And then finally we have so Vidhi-ling. Okay, Vidhi-ling, Ashi-ling. Ashi-ling. And then after that, La, La, Li, Li, Lu. Then Lung. Lung after that. Lung. And then finally comes, I'm sorry, typo here. So Lung will come there, and then comes Lung. That's the last one. Least used. Least used is the last one. The Lung. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is the order. So what we are right now, we can form Iesha. So we want this one, the second one over here, second one. So, okay, let's go back here and see what he's telling us, is saying here. Okay, so we are only have to go from this point up to this point, because the next one coming is what? Lit, Lut, because this Eshita form is the Lut form. So that we are done with Lit up to that point, okay? So you have to be able to figure out that from this Iesha up to this Anyatra Savarna Dirghaha is the section on Lit. So remove that sentence out, because if you are looking at Lit right now, you only have to worry about this one sentence over here. This is what I mean, because these books are such big books, you get intimidated by the size of these books and what they mean. But if you know where to go and what to look for, you don't have to look over the whole book right now. You only need this one line. This one line from Iesha up to Anyatra Savarna Dirgha. That's all you need for this whole book. So these are all reference books, So you don't have to be scared of these books that much. If you can quickly look up, okay, let's follow it now. Iesha Ishatuhu. So he gives the two answers. He gives the two answers that, what he is talking about. So that is the Pratham Purusha Ekvachanam, Pratham Purusha Dvivachanam. Now he makes a comment after that. Piti tu paratvat gune krite. Okay, what's saying? Piti tu paratvat gune krite. So when the pit pratyaya follows, again we have tip tasji, sip tastha, mip vasmas. So the tip, sip, mip, these are pit pratyayas. So piti, when pit pratyaya follows, so paratvat. So why it says piti tu? Because he already gave you two forms, Iesha and Ishatuhu. Now in Ishatuhu, he has done the Akasavana Dirgha has been done. In Iesha, the Iyang Adesha has been done. So after he gives these two forms, nicely he gives that Piti tu Paratvat. Means even though we read the Akasavana Dirgha in the form Ishatuhu, Piti tu, but when you had the Pit Pratyaya falling, which is back here in the tip, Paratvat. Paratvat means what? Means he is a Parakar in the Ashtadhyay. Ashta is a Parakar in the Ashtadhyay. Now which rule is he talking about? He's talking about the rule, of course, which is, Sarvadhataka, Ardhadhataka Yoho, and the Puganta Laghupatasya Cha. So these rules come in 7.3, as we have used them many, many, many times. So 7.3. So 7.3, 84, 86. So Sarvadhatuka Ardhatuka Yoho and the Puganta Laguputasya Cha. So right now it's going to be this one, Puganta Laguputasya Cha, because we have the Dhatu Ish. It has an Upadha. Upadha is penultimate letter, which is a short letter, Lagu. That's going to take Gunaha. So what we are being told here now is that the Pititu, Paratvat, because it's a Parakaryam, 7386, Gune Krute Sati, when Guna has been done, after doing the Guna operation, because what means that the E becomes A. So let's continue with our steps so you can follow better. Is you can continue through our steps. It says, so, okay, so what did we have? We had, okay, so Ish plus we got the Pratyaya tip. Okay, so let's continue through our steps. Let's catch up with him, Let's catch up where he is. So tip. This is 3478. Okay? And if you cannot follow this, Raja said, please post, ask questions. We'll respond to you. Okay, because there are different people in the class at different levels. So I don't know who's at what level exactly. But if you want, if something is not clear, of course I'm going too slow for some of you, but I think this is kind of an average pace. Okay. So tip 3478, and then after, so this is step 1 was the lakara itself. Step 2 was the itlopaha. Step 3 was tiptaji. Now step 4, you finish the remaining operation in 3.4. As I mentioned, the 3478, there really is a whole block. From 3478 to end of 34 is one big block, like one section. Like if it's a computer program, it's like one routine. So now finish any operation there, and there we have sutram which says the parasyapadanam nal atus us thal atus nal vamaha. So this tiptasji, they completely change lit lakaraha. So the parasyapadanam nal atus us thal atus nal vamaha. Very fundamental sutram. So moment you lit lakaraha, if you have the parasyapadam ending tiptasji, etc., then you have to immediately apply 3482. Okay, because now you're thinking, because in the shlokaha you have the word iyesha. If you look at this akara over here, you're thinking, how do I connect this to tiptasji? Because there's no akara in tiptasji. So what's going on here? But if you knew this fundamental sutram, which is the 3482, now you can say, okay, but I know the pratyaya null. Null has the akara anubandha lope a. So then I can start making some connection, making a intelligent guess what it might be. So this tiptasji, this 3482 has to be applied. If you have a in the parasyapadam you have the lit lakaraha. So then we make it. Now we have to make it ish plus null. Ish plus null. Make it like that. So this is 3482. 3482. And then after that, now we have to do the abhyasa karyam. Iti dhatu anabhyasasya. Iti dhatu anabhyasasya. So which means that when the lit pratyaya follows, then abhyasa has to be done one time. Okay. There's one little more complication here. One complication here is that the pratyaya null is following. So why should I not do guna operation first? Because we just saw that 7386 is the says Puganta Lagupadasya cha, the E should take guna and become the Ekaraha. Remind you one more thing, by the way, is that the sutram Ting Shit Sarvadhatukam Ardhadhatukam Sheshaha. Ting Shit Sarvadhatukam Ardhadhatukam Sheshaha. So now, if the Pratyaya Tiptasji has come, normally it should get the Sanya Sarvadhatukam. But there is a special sutram which Panini has, Litcha. So lit adeshaha. If it's a lit adesha tiptasji, tarhi sarvadhika sanya na bhavati. So it becomes a ardha dhatukam. So this pratyaya, this tip which came over here, even though we have ting shit sarvadhatukam, the litcha sutram, this pratyaya tip is now going to be a ardha dhatuka pratyaya. Okay, so this one can definitely do the guna of the ikara over here. Okay, so that. Okay, now one more thing to remind you is that there is a sutram in 125 which says that asanyuga lit kita. If you have a lit pratyaya, which is an apit lit, so not in place of tip, tip, sip, and the mip. Apit lit kit syat. So if we take lit pratyaya, which doesn't have pers and it, then it becomes kit. If that were to happen, it stops the guna operation because of 115 kiniticha. So you have to watch out for that. But right now, we don't have to worry about that. So right now, the pratyaya that we have, pratyaya is tip right now. So then we don't have to, look at the 124, 125 doesn't affect us right now. Okay, so we have to only look at this one. So guna adesha prapta means that the guna operation is now coming for use. Now, that is a parakaryam to the abhyasa karya, because abhyasa karya comes from where? It comes from 618. As I mentioned to you, there are only 4 main ashtadhyayi when to do abhyasa. 618, 619, 6110, 6111. And the very first one is niti dhatu anabhyasasya. That's the very first one. Now, the 618 is coming earlier in the ashtadhyayi, is coming earlier in the ashtadhyayi, is coming earlier in the ashtadhyayi than the 7386. So then we should really be doing 7386. We should be doing guna first, then doing abhyasa. Okay. But this special rule sutra which Panini has, dvirvachane chi. Let's look at that, dvirvachane chi. These are all fundamental ideas. So dvirvachane chi should come in 1.1. Okay. This 1159. 1159. Let's look at 1159 because what it says is that if you don't have to, okay, let's go to let's look at the vritti itself. So 1159, okay. 1159, okay. 1159, that's the important sutra. When you do abhyasaha, 1159 is saying dirvachane chi. So let's look at the vritti of that. Let's look at maybe this laku vritti is ditva nimitte achi ajyadesho na ditve kartavye, which means that ditva nimitte achi. If you have pratyaya, that pratyaya should be the nimittam for dvitvam. So what do we have right now? We have the pratyaya null right now. That null is definitely the nimittam for doing the abhyasaha because of the sutram 618 liti dhatoho anabhyasasya. When lit pratyaya follows, then you do abhyasaha. So this null is lit pratyaya, okay, and it is definitely nimittam for abhyasa. It is the cause for doing abhyasaha. So that's what we have. So, and it's also ajadi pratyaya because ajadi means remove the it letters. Remember one thing, to decide with ajadi or aneka, lekach, halantyam, halantaha, ajantaha. So you have to remove the it letters first. They're only markers, only packaging. So by chutu halantyam, so when you do the itlopaha, itkaryam, then only what's left behind is only the akaraha. So chutu halantyam, so we make it the next step over here maybe. So we can do like this. So we can do ish plus the akaraha. So what we applied is we applied chutu, which is 137, and applied halantyam and tasya lopaha. Of course, halantyam tasya lopaha. So now, let's just follow this. What he's saying is dvitva nimitte achi. So when we have pratyaya, which is ajadi pratyaya, also nimittam for dvitvam, and he's going to do an ajyadesha, an adesha in place of an ach. No, don't do it. Ditve kartavye. Ditve kartavye. So if dvitvam has to be done, that should take priority. That should not wait. That should take priority over this other operation, which is being mandated by pratyaya, ajadi pratyaya, which is the cause of dvitvam. And that is doing an ajyadesha. So this is a little bit complicated sutram. But what we have right now here, pratyaya is this null. It's ajadi. So dvitta nimittakaha. It is a nimittam for the dvitvam. Not only that, it wants to do a guna adesha here by 7386. So it's going to be an ajyadesha. So that ajyadesha has to wait. Dvitve kartavye. When dvittam has to be done, this one has to wait. So that is an important sutram. So let's look at that again. So this was the Dirvachanechi. I think it's 1159. Okay, so by 1159, we will not do the guna adesha first. We'll do the abhyasa karyam first. So 1159. So now we can try to follow what Sanacharya is saying. So let's finish that one. So we do the ish plus we have again ish, and then we have oh. So we have now used 618 along with this the Parivasha Sutram 1159. Okay. Now Abhyasa Karyam will do, of course, the Haladishesha. Haladishesha. In the Abhyasa, Abhyasa, Purva Abhyasa. This Purva Bhag is called Abhyasa. Purva Abhyasa. It's also Pani Sutram Purva Abhyasa. In the beginning of 6.1 itself, I think it's like 614 or something like that, which Pani says Purva Abhyasa. So when we do this duplication, the Purva Bhagaha in this section is called Abhyasa. Okay, so Purva Abhyasa, and then Haladishesha. All these important rules, I think I mentioned many times now already, but they all come at the end of 7.4. See, this is where you want to come the Ashtadhyayi. Because, you know, the Kaumudi, of course, everybody studies the most today. In Ashtadhyayi, you can find in one single place all the rules in the Abhyasa Bhaga, Abhyasa Karyani. You cannot find that in one place in the Siddhanta Kaumudi. Why not? Because he will take one dhatu, and for each dhatu as and when required, you know, he will take one sutra from here. So you cannot come to the Siddhanta Kaumudi and say, where can I find all the rules for doing the Abhyasa Karyam? For that, you have to come to the Ashtadhyayi. Similarly, when we just look at this section right now, where can I find all the rules when Abhyasa has to be done? For that, you have to come to the Ashtadhyayi, not Siddhanta Kaumudi. Because Kaumudi will only take them rules as necessary, he'll take them. So now you know why you need both books in one hand, okay? So one hand Ashtadhyayi, with Kashika commentary, one hand Siddhanta Kaumudi. Depending on what you are looking for, you have to go to this one or that one. You can find quickly, okay? If you want to find all the rules to do the Abhyasa Karyam, you have to come over here. And the first one, the second one is Haladishesha. Hal can remain. So Adihi, Adir Hal Shishyate, Anyi Lupyante. So only the beginning Hal will stay, the ending, the remaining will go away. So now we have to get in this Abhyasa Bhagaha now. Oh, this Shakara is not in Adi. So it will not stay, it will not, it will survive. It will have to be removed. So we'll make E plus E, Sha, plus the null pratyaya. Okay, this is what we have now. Now the question is that, now let's go back to what the book was saying and try to follow from there. So what we have done here is only the Haladishesha. Haladishesha we have done, 7460. Okay, and now let's follow from the book. Let's see what he has done. Okay, okay, here. Okay, he says Pititu. So when the pit pratyaya, which is what we have right now, we have the pratyaya tip, because null came in place of tip. It has the pitvam. Because of what? Of the Sthanivad Adesha Anal Vidhau. Sthanivad Adesha Anal Vidhau. Means any Adesha becomes Sthanivat. It takes the properties of the thing it replaced. Okay? Except Anal Vidhau. You cannot take recourse to the original letters, specific letters which were there. For example, right now we have the pratyaya null came in place of tip. Can we say the pratyaya null is haladi? We cannot. Because that is an alvidhi. The tip will, this null pratyaya, which came in place of tip, will take all the properties of tip. It will be a pratyaya, it will be a ting pratyaya, it will be a pit pratyaya, all it will have. But then can we say it has the letters sta and e in it? We cannot say that. It will not inherit the specific letters takara, ikaraha. Besides that, it will take all the properties. That is what is called Sthanivad Adesha. Anal Vidhau. Anal Vidhau. A very fundamental important sutram. So any Adesha, that's why I always say don't skip any steps. Don't skip any steps because they might leave some residue behind. There might be Sthanivad Bhava somewhere. Because what will happen even in this case, if you have skipped this step, directly go to null. Now this null will not be pit anymore. It cannot do any gunaha. We have to bring the tip pratyaya first, then do null adesha. So the pittam nasti ched gunadeshana sambhavati. You cannot make gunadesha. So don't skip any steps because every step has, you know, a purpose to it. Okay. So it has a sthanivad bhava. So again, let's go back to the book. It says pititu paratvad gune krite. So by 7386, do the gunadesha, and then this is
Satish,
yes.
Can you please explain this anal vidhau, what exactly it says?
Anal vidhau means that, you know, if there is some vidhi, okay, which is dependent on the specific letters of the item which was replaced, then this new item you cannot do that vidhi when the replacement comes in. For example, if there was some vidhi, depending on the pratyaya being haladi, for example, in this case, can we do that vidhi now after null has come in? We cannot do it because the null has only taken the properties of the tip, like, being a pratyaya, being a pit, being a ting pratyaya, but it will not, you can no longer say that a null has a specific letter sta and e in it. If there is
So
some
if there is a vidhi which has to do with the ikara or takara,
you cannot do it.
it cannot. Okay.
That is the gist of it basically. If there is some vidhi which says haladi pratyaya is required, you cannot do it now because the null, you cannot say null as sthanivat bhava is takaradi. It's not. Because that is the al vidhi. Al vidhi means depend on specific, al means any letter, of course. Al is letter. So if it depends on a specific letter of what was replaced, then the adesha cannot inherit those. Okay. So that's what it means. Okay. I mean, actually, when I was learning, my teacher gave an example. This may not be a perfect example. Like if they say the president's wife is going to come to inaugurate the function. Okay. But let's say, that time, I guess Clinton was the president, Hillary was sick, she cannot come. So then some president's wife will come. Now she'll have the same car, she'll have the president's clothes, she'll have the bodyguards, she'll have all that. But if you want Hillary's hair to wear, you will not have that. She cannot bring that, that actually the letters of that Hillary's hair or eyes will not be there. But you will have the president's wife, you'll have the car, you'll have the bodyguards, you'll have everything, and the president's wife is there. Is she there? Yes, she is there. But you cannot take recourse to the specific, letters, the features of Hillary Clinton, that will not be there. So here the takara and the ikara are like that, So you will not have the eyes and nose of Hillary Clinton in that wife anymore. Only the sthanivat bhava she will have. She'll be president's wife and she'll bring all the properties of president's wife she'll bring with her. But not the specific features of Hillary Clinton will not be there. So that is something like that, So this is
if the original pratyaya can bring agama, can this bring an agama also?
Agama, it can come as long as it's not dependent on the specific letters sta and e. For example, take an id agama. For example, let's take a quick example. Like, take us here Sutra 7137. Yeah. So 7137, what does it say? 7137 say the pratyaya twa becomes lyap. Okay. Okay. Let's take example now. So, for example, when you have the, like, take example bhutva. Bhutva is having been, but it becomes anubhuya. Anubhuya. So now, when the pratyaya lyap comes in there, it is no longer a valadi pratyaya. It's no longer valadi because lyap brings the yakara. So the adesha, the agamaha, id agamaha, which can come, but it depends on the pratyaya being valadi. Now lyap came in place of twa. The twa was a krut pratyaya. It was a pratyaya which has the ardhadhatuka sanya. So all that come to the pratyaya lyap also. But lyap cannot inherit the letters sta, va, a. So lyap will not be valadi anymore. So if the agama depends on those specific letters, then you cannot get it. Otherwise you can get it, of course, you can get it. So, okay, so that's the gist of it. You get all the properties, but not the specific letters. Okay, the simple gist is like that. So any vidhi which depends on the specific letters cannot be done when the substitute comes in. So, but now, right now, what he's telling us? He's telling us piti. Now the piti we have, because the tip for the pit pratyaya, the null gives adesha for tip, so by sthanivat adesha null vidhau, you can get that pitness. So piti too, when pit pratyaya follows. Now why did he put the comment after putting the dvivachanam? Because he did the iyanga adesha in the ekavachanam. He has done the akasami dirgha in the dvivachanam. So then he's saying, why the difference between these two? Why is here you're getting the iyanga adesha and here you're getting the akasami dirgha adesha? So then he explains, when the pit pratyaya was falling over here in iyesha, paratvat, because the gunakaryam is parakaryam, 7386, Puganta Laghupatasya is 7386, paratvat gune krite, when guna is done, abhyasasya savarne iti iyang. So what is this one, abhyasasya savarne? That one is coming in 6478. I think you all should know 6477. Very, very, very important sutram, 6477. I think you all know Ikuanachi, that is 6177. But 6477 says Achishnu dhatu bhuvam Yuvar iyang uvango. Very, very important sutram. So what that is saying is that if you have the pratyaya, which is ajadi pratyaya following, how do you pratyaya? Because we are in the angasya adhikara right now. Angasya starts from 4-1, goes to end of 7 for angasya adhikara. In that adhikara, so that means achi means when ach follows. Now if you have an angam, the angam is a relative concept. It depends on the pratyaya. Only when pratyaya comes, that angam comes. Okay, because what defines angam? Because what defines angam is that yasmat pratyaya vidhi. So yasmat pratyaya vidhi. So tadadi pratyaya angam. So it's 1:4:13 says that yasmat pratyaya vidhi. So that from which the pratyaya was ordained. Tadadi, from that point up to the pratyaya itself. That is the angam for the pratyaya. So the angam is only created when the pratyaya comes. Angam is not in a vacuum. The angam implies a pratyaya has come. And for that pratyaya, each pratyaya has its own angam. Maybe there are 2 or 3 pratyaya, they'll have their own different angam. Okay, so that's why do we need that right now? Because it's this sutram, which is 6:4:77, which you should all mark with a highlighter. 6:4:77. It says only says achi. When ach follows, we are in the angasya adhikara. The fact that we have an angam means there must be pratyaya must have come to make the angam. So when achi means ajado pratyaya pare, that's how you understand the pratyaya must be there. Otherwise angam has no meaning without pratyaya. So ajado pratyaya pare, then shnu dhatu bhruvam. The gana vikaranam shnu, or a dhatu, which is the most important in the sutram. Because shnu is only one gana vikaranam shnu is there for 5th gana, like shrunoti, etc. But here you have the any dhatus. That's the biggest thing. See, in one sutram, Panini will club 2-3 items. Like take a simple sutram, sasajush ruhu. Now here that word sajush is almost unheard of. While the sakara comes in almost every shloka it comes. Sasajush ruhu. If you should give like a rating, like a 5-star rating, the sakara will get like a 5-star rating, which applied every place. While the sajush is completely unheard of. He'll get a rating of 0. Rating of 0 for sajush. So in the same sutram, in one single compound, Panini will combine something which is very, very important and something which has almost no importance. So that's this thing of Panini Sutra, you be careful, because Panini does not care whether it is used 1 time or 1,000,000 times. Doesn't matter. As long as it is used at least 1 time somewhere, it has to be in the Ashtadhyayi. That's his thing. So unfortunately, that's something we have to understand. Okay, that don't think that everything in Sutram is important for you. And remember Sutram Sasajusho Ruhu, because Sajush is completely unimportant, while the Sa is extremely important, and it's in one compound. So here it's not as dramatic as that one, because here he gives the Shnu Dhatu Bhruvam. Now Shnu is Gana Vikaranam for 1 Gana of Dhatus. Well, slightly important. So Dhatu is any Dhatu in the whole language. So that is extremely important. And the Bhru is one single Pratipadikam Bhru. Of course, it's a relatively common word, but this middle one is the most important thing with the Dhatu. Just the Dhatu Bhruvam. So one more thing you can do, by the way, just to get the importance of one of my dreams is to put the Ashtadhyayi ratings on that. Is how many hits do you get? So how many times sutra is used in the Gita, in the Raghuvamsham, in the Bhagavad Puranam. So you have to give it ratings, and then you can only take the 5-star ratings first, then tell the 4-star ratings. Of course, something like Iko and Achi will get like a 5-star rating all the time. But so will this sutram. Why? Because dhatu is in there. Dhatu is in there. So any dhatu is ikaraha or ukaraha, it gets the adesha iyang and uvang respectively. Okay, when an ajadi pratyaya follows. Okay. Now, next sutram is what we are being told right now by Sayanacharya is giving us the next sutram, and he is telling us that abhyasasya savarane iti iyang. Abhyasasya savarane. Okay. So what he's telling us is that this next sutram, 6:4:78, abhyasasya savarane. Now, let me go to one more thing here. Why do we even need this sutram? Because here we have, actually we need for a couple of reasons, but we have this ikaraha which belong to a dhatu. Following that, we have the isha. That's the abhyasa bhaga ikara. Then we have isha. I'm sorry, ish, not isha, but ish. I'm sorry, it's a typo. So it should be ish. Okay. Now, can we use the 6477 itself to make the iyang adesha here? We cannot, because I just mentioned to you, even though an ach is following, this is not a pratyaya. We need an angam to have that. So this ikara of ish is of course an ach, but it's not a pratyaya. So this ikara doesn't have the anga sanya. So we cannot use that 6477 itself to make the iyang adesha. So, but this sutram is saying that 6478 is saying if you have that the abhyasa, in the abhyasa, right? If you have and the iyang uvang is coming, the yavor means is the sandhi between e and u. If you have e varna or u varna in the abhyasa, of the abhyasasya, followed by an ach which is asavarna. In that case, also that abhyasa is ikara or e varna or u varna will get the iyang or uvang. Now that is a special sutram over here. So let's check if all the conditions. One more thing, please make it a habit. If before applying any sutram, make sure that all the conditions are satisfied in your case. Very, very good habit. That will also clarify in your head exactly what rules you are going to, what conditions are there. Always check them. So we need abhyasa bhagasya e varna tha u varna. Then achi parataha, we have ach following. Tarhi, which should be asavarna. Right now we have savarna because e and e are savarna. I mean every vowel is savarna with itself. Okay. Of course, e varna means all the long e, short e also. So now at this point we are not going to be able to use that abhyasasya savarne, but that's why let's follow what he's saying. Is that piti tu paratvat gune krite. So do the guna adesha first and then do abhyasasya savarne iti iyang. So now what we have to do is that paratvat, because parakaryam, we have to apply now this 7386 Uganta lagu patasya cha. And then we have to make it like this. We have to make it E plus A sha, like that combined. So this we have used 7386. And now we can apply 6478 because abhyasasya savarne. Abhyasa. Now we do have an abhyasa here which does have the E varna in there. And we do have an ach following. The ach is not savarna with this one over here. So we can do the iyang adesha, and now we can get the form e yesha. That's what. So this is the important sutram, which is 6478. So of all these rules over here, this was the important one. Abhyasasya savarne. Important means what? It has a more specific domain applying. So rules which apply in smaller domains, they are the one which are hard to remember, right? Like sutram like eco and chi we all remember. Substitution we all remember. But even 6477 achishtun dhatu vruvam yuva yingo vango. So that we should remember, but it has slightly smaller domain. Now this one abhyasasya savarna, it has an even smaller domain. So that is the one. Those are the ones which you have tried to. In the beginning, of course, you take the most important rules. Then try to go down a little bit deeper and deeper as you get rules which have smaller domains. Okay. So E yesha is the final form. Let's finish this. I'm sorry we took a long time, but I wanted you to use this book. I wanted to use this book. So see because this is a seva of Sharanacharya, which you have to do. So and I hope you can now pick out from where to look. So any lakara, you would make it a habit in your life, please. If you're doing any lakara prakriya, please keep this book on your side. It's available online also now. Of course, if you get the other edition, it's even better. You can get the sutra numbers and in bold everything. It's more user-friendly for you. We can also use this online. And look at the dhatu, look at the lakaraha, and pick out which line or set of lines you have to look at. Only from here to here. Okay? Let's finish this. What did he say? Anyatra savarna dirghaha. Anyatra. When the pit pratyaya is not there, apiti. Savarna dirgha. If you take the dual form now, which we don't have, then what will happen? All the same steps. But this 7386 cannot be used because the pratyaya will be atus, come in place of tas, tip tasjir. So tas will come in the dvivachanam. If the pratyaya will become atus, that tas pratyaya did not have purs in it. So atus also will have purs in it because that's going to be stanivad bhava. So in that case, you will not have this ekara coming in there. So you cannot use 6478. That 647 only applies asavarane, abhyasasya asavarane. So you'll get the form there. You'll end up like this. You'll get the form E plus you'll have E only, E shatuhu atus, E shatus. And at this point, you can only do the akastami dirgha. No iyangadesha, because that's 6, because 7386 cannot apply. So you cannot apply 6468. So then you get the form E shatuho, E shatuho. So that is why, see how beautifully he already did the two forms for you. The amount of thought and care which goes into this text is really mind-boggling. How much effort and how much precision goes over here. So he already gave you the two forms, Iyesha, Isha, Tuhu. Then only he brought the comment in, because he wants to do the comparison between these two. He brought the Iyesha form, then did Isha, Tuhu, so he can make the comparison and make a comment over here as to why one is one is the other. Because Anyatra means what? Apiti. Savana Dirgha Adeshaha. So that's beautiful. So anyway, we took only one line from this book right now, which is this book is really a treasure house. This is in your third hand at all times. Any lakar prakriya you can do, please use this book. You also have the Krudanta Rupamala, which is published by the Madras Sanskrit College. Also a beautiful thing. But that will not give lakar prakriya for you. It will not give lakaras for you. This book combines that also. This not only gives the lakaras first, then he gives all the derived dhatus, the sananta, yanganta, nijjanta, and then he goes into the krut pratyas. So this is, of course, that was more detailed book. Krudanta Rupamala is more detailed book, more user-friendly. This is also very good. So you have to be able to use the resources. The trick in this language is to be to use the resources, Just open up a book and try to find where to go and what it's talking about. But you need to have some fundamental knowledge to understand what he's talking about. So if you didn't know what piti means, what paratvat means, what this abhyasasya savarane, what it means, if you don't know what iyang means, then you cannot use this book. But that's the purpose of the class, If you cannot understand anything from this book, email us, We will reply to you and we will try to, do that. So, okay. So now, last thing in this is why no guna could be done when the atus came in, because it doesn't have pit in that. So what difference does that make? Because we saw today that the sutram 125, asanyogat lit kit. So apit lit kit syat. If you have a apit lit and there's no sanyoga priya prior to that, that becomes kit. It takes a kit, becomes kitvat. It becomes kurs in it. So even though atus does not have kurs in it, because of the sutram 125. Asanyogat lit kit, that sutra will make it like a kit, and then by 115 kiniticha guna nishedha, so guna could not be done. So that's the main difference between these two cases. One place we had a pratyaya tip, which has purs in it, which came into null by sthanivat bhavaha, so guna could be done. When atus came plus to the place of pratyaya tas, no purs in it, so you could not do that, so you got ishatuhu over there. So ishatuhu, so maybe I'll put here, so you can, because of 124, 125 there's no gunaha. So then you only apply the akasavani dirgha only after 101. Okay, so that was some detailed commentary. So please use this book. Very, very fantastic book. It is a little bit difficult for you, but at least try what you can. You can try to use it. So let's go back to Shlokana. So what he was telling us in the first part is the anviyesha sadrishim sa cha snasham. So the commentary is sa dasharatha cha sadrishim. Sadrishim means which is similar, sadrishim. He gives anurupam, appropriate, in keeping with, appropriate, anurupam. Snusham, because see how beautifully put the adjective before the noun, right? Because snusham is the noun, sadrishim is the adjective, put it before that in the anvayaha. Anviyesha means he was searching, he was searching for appropriate bride for Rama. And then he makes paraphrases there. What does he mean? He wants a daughter-in-law for whom? So he may say Rama Vivaham Achakangsha ityartaha. Achakangsha. Of course, Achakangsha, we don't have to go through all the steps. Dhatu is kanksh. The only thing in Abhyasa Bhaga there in Achakangsha is the kuhoshchuhu. Kuhoshchuhu. In the Abhyasa Bhaga, the ka varga becomes cha varga. If you look at the form Achakanksha going on, so A is the Upasarga, so nothing spare. Then the Abhyasa Bhaga is Cha. So same pratyaya, tip, became null. So all the similar thing that we did before, Achakanksha. Okay, so Kanksha, Achakanksha, Achakanksha, Achakanksha. So dhatu is Kanksh. So here we have to use the sutram. Of course, if we do the Abhyasabha, we will get Kanksh, Kanksh. Haladi Sheshaha. So first thing, Haladi Shesha will remove everything except the only Ka will remain behind. All the hulls will go away. Any hull which is not in the first position goes away. So Haladi Sheshaha. Then after that, you can also do Rasvaha. Because Ka will become Ka. Rasvaha. And then after that, you can do Kuhoshchuhu. Kuhoshchuhu. Vishnabhyasaha. The Ka Varga becomes, and the Hakara becomes Cha Varga, becomes Cha. Then Kanksha, add the Pratyaya null, same thing, nothing. There's no guna to be done because there's Akara is there, and the Upadha is only a hull, so you cannot do any guna anyway. So Achakanksha means he desired to have Sri Rama married, is what he says, Achakanksha. And then, now the comment here is that, this one Cha over here, another Cha Ainam, Chainam. Okay, now what is this Chakara? In fact, actually, the Malinatha is not given here, but the other commentators, because he might have given before, is they made the following comment. Dvau Chakarau Tulya Kala Dyotanarthau. We'll put it in document. So Dvau Chakarau Tulya Kala Dyotanarthau. So mean that these two Chakaras means that those two events are happening at the same time. So this is again, this is no sutram for this. This is just in the language, the usage. So Dvau Chakarau, when you see that, just while he was doing this, just as he was trying to find a appropriate bride, here comes the priest. That kind of thing, So like in English, Dvau Chakarau, it says that Tulya Kala Jyotana. So Tulya Kala, Jyotana means to highlight. So Jyotanarthau. So they are highlighting the fact that these are happenings at the same time. So Dvau Chakaro Tulya Kala Jyotanarthau means for the purpose of highlighting the fact that these two events are happening at the same time. So that is the commentary on that. So okay. Now Anukula Vak. Anukula, which was in keeping with, Anukula means which is not agreeable or desired. Agreeable, Anukula Vak. Anukula Vak is, of course, a Bahuvri compound. Anukula Vak. So Anukula Vak, yes, yasaha. Very simple compound. The dhatu vach becomes vach. So the Pradipatikam is vach. So Anukula vach, Anukula vak, yes, yasaha. So one whose speech is agreeable. So that's qualifying Dvijaha. So the priest who came. So what's he saying? Anukula vak is, he may also make a commentary on that. Snusha Siddhi Rupa Anukula Arthavadi. Arthavadi means one who was talking about, getting him the Snusha Siddhi Rupa Anukula Vak. So what he was saying was that which was going to get Dasharatha, that daughter-in-law that he was looking for. Snusha Siddhi Rupa. Snusha Siddhi means getting the daughter-in-law. Rupa. So that Vak, the speech was of that nature, that which was consisting of that finding him that daughter-in-law she was looking for. Arthavadi. Why is Anukula Vak? He's explaining why he's Anukula Vak. You think his Vigra Vakyam is straightforward. Anukula Vak Yasyasaha. So Dvijaha Janaka Purodhaha. Dvija can mean any priest, but here he means the one who is, Dvija means twice born. This is actually Upapada Samasa. This is Dhatu Jan. Okay, let's do one small. And Upapada Samasa, what is Upapada Samasa in simple terms? If there is a Dhatu, which is Uttara Padam of Uttara Bhaga of a Samasa, it's taken a Pratyaha, which depends on the Upapada, I mean the left side being there, which means that this Ja cannot stand on its own. Swatantram Nasti. You cannot say Jayati Jaha. Iti Vaktum na Shakyate. Tarhi Upapada Samasa Nyatavyaha. If that Ja cannot have independence, it depends that Jan Dhatu taking the pratyaya da depends on something being to left hand side. So it only comes in combination with the upapada. In upapada means something which is close by, left hand side over here. So then only it becomes upapada samasa. If you can say jayati iti jaha, then you don't need upapada samasa. So this dvijaha is upapada samasa. Now the dhatu is jan. So the jan, the anbhaga has gone. Means T lopa has taken place over there. So T lopa taking place means the main sutram for that is tehe. In 64143 sutram is tehe. 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 I think we've done this a couple of times before. Sutram is tehe. So that requires a dit pratyaya to follow. That's when the pratyaya will be da. So dhatu jan was there. The pratyaya da came in. So the an went away and only akara remained. So we have the ja at the end now. It becomes ja. Now, one problem here is that this comes in the bhasya adhikara. Adhikara is bhasya of 64129. But bhasya only comes by sutram 1418, which is yachibham. Yachibham. And yachibham requires the pratyaya to be swadi pratyaya. Swadishva sarvanama sthane. Now, swadishu only starts from 412. Because we just talked about that, 412, suo just come out. So swadi starts from 412. That means we have the dhatu jan. So we will not have, you cannot get a swadi pratyaya because after dhatu. Then how can we apply the 64143? So that question is that because the do as an it can have no other use except for doing the T lopaha. So anubandha karana samarthyat avasyapi ter lopaha. Which means that because the anubandha da has been put over there, which can have no other purpose for putting T lopaha. Therefore, we know that 64143 can be used even though the angam doesn't have the bhasanya, because there's no other use for da than it. So that's the sutram. Now, which one sutram do we use? First of all, to remind you that to form any samasa in this language, you have to find a sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 to give you the anumati, permission to form the samasa. And here it is upapadam ating. Upapadam ating. So any upapada samasa is only one single sutram. Upapadam ating. It only says that if a qualified upapadam is there, it can be compounded with another term. It doesn't have to be a subantam, because the subantam will not be ready until this is a chicken and egg problem in upapada samasas. The pratyaya cannot come until upapada is there, but the samasa cannot be formed until sup is there. So now, how do you get around this problem? So Panini says upapadam ating. So as long as upapada is there, don't say supa. Any a qualified term can be compounded as long as the tinganta not being created. So that's how the upapadam ating. Because prior to that, if you look at this entire samasa prakaranam, you have sup with another sup will compound. Tingantas don't compound. They don't compound. So you should not say aham agamishyami. I will not come. That's not correct. You have to say aham na gamishyami. I will not go. What I'm saying, not go. I mean. So na gamishyami. Not agamishyami should not do. So tingantam na samasyate. But here we have the problem is that like in Raja Purusha is straightforward. Raja is there, Purusha is there, make it Raja Purusha. But here the jan cannot stand on its own. It cannot even take the pratyaya da until upapada comes in. Now upapada cannot come until the compounding is done. So now compounding cannot be done until supa is ready. So now that's the problem. But here this is the way that Panini handles the problem is upapadam ating means that upapadam can be compounded with another term. It doesn't have to be a subantam. As long as tingans have not been created. So it's upapadam ating. Now how do we know which upapadas go with which dhatus to which combinations? That we have seen a few times already. That is from 3192 from the section of Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. Tatropapadam Saptami Stham. So Tatra means in this dhatu adhikara, this third dhatu adhikara. This one where because Panini has 3 times dhato. From 317 is dhato. Then there is a 3122 dhato. And then comes another one which is this dhatoho 31. Why have another dhatoho? I mean already dhatu anut is coming down. Because only in this section is third dhatu. So asmin tritiya dhatu adhikara is this third dhatu adhikara. What is saptami indicated by saptami? That gets the term upadam. And those are the ones which can compound now with that sutam upadam ating. So this is how you know which upadas can take which dhatus with what pratyayas to form compounds. And as I mentioned to you, many of them come from 321 to 3 to 100. Or it is all left with karmanyan, start from karmanyan. And at the end of that, I think there is a sutram towards the end. It says, okay, saptamyam janer daha. This da pratyaya can be brought, So one who is born in that, someone who is born in that. Panchamyam jato. One something who is born from that. Do we have that right now? We don't have it right now because he's not born from dvi. He's not born in dvi. He's born twice. Okay. So now how do we explain that now? So now that we have to take the next sutram, I think, which is there, which says that, okay, let us see. Next sutram, which was saying that, okay, upasarge anavakarmani. I think this one, I think, anyeshapi drishyate. So this can be extended. So 32101, if you look at the vyakhyana of that, tells you that this pratyaya da can come with a dhatu jan, even in other cases. It doesn't have to be those specific ones, but let's see. Okay. Let's see. So I think 32101 is what we want to use. 32101. Okay, I think I lost that page. Let me get that page back. Okay. I want to get the vritti of that, the sutram 32101. That's what we need to use because otherwise we will not be able to use. Okay. Ashtadhyayi. Okay. Look at this one. Okay. So 32101. Actually, you know what? We should go to our website because that will also give us the AVG. So I hope all of you are using the website. If you're using the website on the right-hand side there, we have a link to the Ashtadhyayi. It's the same document, but it has English numbers. So look at text. I think here it will come, and it will be the Ashtadhyayi is here. And there you can see this 32101. Okay, because this is trying to develop this website, so that we can all put all the resources over here. 32101. Anyeshapi drishyate. So anyeshapi upapadeshu karakeshu janehe dha pratyaya drishyate. So this can come in, different upapadas. We can basically extend that list, so we can extend that list and we can use it. In fact, here he gives. If you down look at Tattvabodhini Tika, Anyeshapi drishyate. Saptamyam janer iti uktam. All the Pani says Saptamyam janer already has been said. Asaptamyam api drishyate. Ajaha. Even though Saptam is not there, you can still use that. Ajaha is unborn. Then Dvijaha. So na jayati iti. In fact, here you got Vigraha Vakyam. It says na jayati iti ajaha. And then Dvirjataha Dvijaha. So he gives, the Dvirjataha Dvijaha. So one who's born twice, So in fact, he gives this, I think, from the Janmana Jayate Shudraha, Karmana Jayate Dvijaha. Everybody is born as a Shudraha only by through our good actions, good samskaras, become a Dvijaha. Anyway, so Dvirjataha Dvijaha, because this has this Dvirjataha Dvijaha. So, okay, so let's go back to, so that was Upapada Samasaha. So the pratyaya was, if you want to, so the dvi was used with the jan, upasarga, the upapadam is dvi, then jan was there, pratyaya da was taken, and then by 64143, the T bhaga was taken out, become dvija, become dvijaha. Dvijaha in this case is the priest, so dvijaha. So anukula vak dvijaha, enam prapa. Now this enam, what is this enam? This is another homework which we gave last time, prapa. Now Dvija commentary gives Janaka Purodhaha. This Purodhas. Purodhas becomes Purodhaha. Purodhaha. Enam Dasharatham Prapa. Now what is this enam? What's the Pratipadikam here? This is a special form enam. Now enam is used what's called Anvadesha. In terms of Panini, it's an Anvadesha. I think we mentioned the document last time. Let's look at it because I gave the sutra number I think also last time. Anvadesha. So this Anvadesha is by the sutram, did I put in the document last time? No. Okay. It's in 2.4. In 2.4, this Anvadesha is what Panini says. This Pratipadikam etad and idam. They can take this Adesh of Ena. And the Ena can come in the Dvitiya Vibhakti, which means in all three singular, dual, plural. Can also come in the Titiya Ekavachanam. and also come in the Shashti Saptami Dvivachanam. So let's go to the Sutram in 2.4. In 2.4, I think probably around maybe 35-ish, 35. No, here it is. This is this one, 2.4.34. Dvitiya ta osu enaha. Dvitiya ta osvenaha. Which means that anuvrutti of idam and etad is coming down. This idam or etad can take the adesh of ena. Otherwise, anvadesh. Anvadesha means what? When you refer to something for some purpose, refer to again for this the same person again for a different purpose, it becomes an anvadesha. It's a very beautiful concept. So we can say ena and make it understood that this was the one referred to before. So enam Dasharatham. So because here, remember, he already referred to him one time, right? Because he said already that the Anviyesha Saha Snusham. So he has used tat over here, but Dasharatha has been referred to before. Referred to him again. So enam. So the same person. So it means Dasharatha was looking for a appropriate bride, and then this at the same time the Brahmana found him, found this same person. Means Dasharatha. So it's enam Dasharatham prapa. So this idam or etad, this takes the adesha ena, and the ena adesha, so what will become? It will become, if it is dvitiya, it will become enam, enau, enan. So instead of becoming, if you take the part of etad, instead of becoming etam, etau, etan, it will become enam, enau, etan, enan will become, right? And instead of become etena, it will become enena. Then we shall become etayoho, it will become enayoho. So in the dvitiya, in the ta, which is titya ekavachanam, and the os, shashti saptami dvivachanam, this idam or etad can take the ena adesha as long as you have the anvadesha. If something referred to before for some purpose, refer to the same thing again for different purpose, then you can get, can get this one. So we'll put 2.4.34. So enam you have to use 2.4.34. Of course, comes in Gita and beautifully in the second adhyaya, right? Enam. So 2.4. Nainam chinnati shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyaapo, nashoshayati marutaha, acche jayamada yojam. So this comes in Gita, and if you look at chapter 2 of Gita, which is a very beautiful place. So remember this sutra when you chant Gita next time, chapter 2. Ditya taus svenaha. Ditya taus svenaha. Any new sutram, repeat many times as possible. Ditya taus svenaha. If you want to memorize something, memorize sutras. Nothing else. That's the first thing to memorize if you want to. Ditya taus svenaha. Ditya taus svenaha. Ditya taus svenaha. Look at chapter 2. Chapter 2, maybe if you have, check maybe sutra number, shloka 20. Enam. Ya enam veti hantaram. Yaschainam manyate hatam. So again, enam. So when the topic is introduced, again, enam comes after many times in Gita. Okay. All right, so we have that. Now let's go back and see what is he saying. So enam Dasharatham prapa. Now prapa, again, lit lakaraha. The upasarga is pra, then dhatu is ap. So we don't have to do it on the document. We can do it pra plus ap plus null. Of course, tip came in place of tip, null came. Then in the abhyasavara, haladi sheshaha. So pra, ap, null become do akasami dirgha and become parapa. So pra-apa means he obtained, he reached. So after me like he reached or he found him. Okay? Tathahi. So tathahi is supplying that because the second half of the shloka is basically justifying or giving like a simile, or like not like a reasoning for why this happened. But just as he was thinking of finding an appropriate daughter-in-law, just then this priest who was saying something which was very agreeable to him, he found him. So how did that happen? Tathahi is because he, in this case, because kalpa vriksha phalasya yo dharmaha. Now, what compound is commenting on? Kalpa vriksha phaladharmin. The pratipadikam is kalpa vriksha phaladharmin. So before that, he's going to make the compound kalpa vriksha phaladharma. So the dharma, you can see if you decline that. This is kalpa vriksha phalasya yo dharma. What is dharma? Is that sadyah paka rupaha. Okay, sadyah paka rupaha. Why Sadyas is an avyam, by the way, Sadyas. Like, you know, if you say Sadyo Jatam Prapadyami, Sadyo Jataya Vainam, Sadyo Jata. So one who's born instantaneously. Sadyas means like Tatkalam. So at the same time, without any delay, instantaneously. Sadyas. So I think it comes in Gita also. Sadyas should come in the Gita. Let's check. Sadyas comes in Gita. Sadyas. Sadyas. Okay. Sadyas. No, it doesn't come in Gita. Okay, I thought it comes in Gita somewhere. Okay, maybe it doesn't. Okay. Okay, I thought it might come in the Gita. Okay, I'm not finding it right now. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see. Look at okay, I'm not able to find it right now, but okay. Anyway, so this is an avyam. It means instantaneously. So let's go to the sloka, and he says that what dharma is that? Because one thing, when you get the vigraha vakyam of a compound, within the vigraha vakyam, he'll give some explanation. So that is a little bit difficult. As it says, kalpa vriksha phalasya yo dharmaha. And the dharma is sadya paka rupaha, which means to fructify immediately. So asya asti iti kalpa vriksha phaladharmi. So one who has a dharma is kalpa vriksha phaladharmi. Now, first of all, he'll give no vigraha vakyam for kalpa vriksha phalasya. So it's straightforward. Kalpa vriksha is basically like a shaka parsya compound. So it is basically a karmadharya compound, but the previous, the pura padam is not a visheshanam as such. The kalpa is not a visheshanam. So kalpa is like, ichha puraka vriksha. So kalpa is something which you fancy, So it is kalpa vriksha is one which like the wish fulfilling gem, or wish fulfilling tree they call, right? So in fact, I think in one of the commentaries, this one that I have, some of the commentaries are more detailed, says kalpa vriksha pradharmaha. I think someone he gives kalpa purno vrikshaha. Kalpa vrikshaha. So kalpa purna vrikshaha is one who fulfills your desires, And kalpa vriksha phalam is shashi tatpurusha. There will be no commentary on that. So fruit of that tree. Kalpa vrikshasya iva dharmaha. Sabhavo yasya asti iti. So one who has the dharma like that of the. So between kalpa vriksha and phala is shashi tatpurusha. Between phala and dharma also shashi tatpurusha. And after all that is done, then you add the pratyaya ini. Now how do you know this? Because look at this vigraha vakyam. So asya asti iti. The moment you see the asya asti iti, you have to go to 5294. Tadasya asti asminiti matuppa. Tadasya asti asminiti matuppa. So again, this is why I'm saying if you don't know these technical terms, it's hard to figure out what is going on. Because here Panini said Tadasya asti asminiti matuppa. Matup pratyaya can be used when someone has that particular thing, or in him that thing can be found. Tadasya asti asminiti matuppa. So that's this 5294. That one is so. But here the pratyaya matup is given. But below that, if you look at I think 52115, ata initanau. If you have the akaranta pradipadikam, because we have the adhikara of nya pradipadikat. If you akaranta pradipadikam, then the pratyaya ini or tan can be used. Ata initanau. So what do we have? Right now we have the kalpa vriksha phala dharma. So that is akaranta pradipadikam. To that you add a pratyaya ini. So we can do that. So kalpa vriksha phala dharma. So kalpa vriksha and then phala and then dharma, and to that we add a pratyaya ini. Ini means anubandha lope, only in remains behind. Anubandha lope, because upadesh ajuna nasika it, and this was we used 52115, which is matubartiya pratyaya. Matubartiya means it has in the meaning of matup. How do we know that? Because clearly he has given to us tadasya asti iti, so asya asti, because tat. So because tat is a general term, because here we talk about dharma. So that's why he converted that to the saha. swasya, swasya, so, saha, asya, asti, iti. Then he gives that. So he's not going to say matup. He'll only use these terms. So kalpavruksha phaladharmin. So we get the pratipadikam now. Now of course here we need to remove this angam gets the bhasanya. Because remember this, we are all the tadisa pratyayas are coming in the swadi list. So by yachibham, by 1418, angam gets the bhasanya, then yasya iti cha, means if your angam is bhasanya, then the ivarnantam, or if you have the ivarnantangam or avarnantangam, then tasya lopasyat, bhasanyakasya angasya lopasyat, tadite ikare cha pare. So here we have an angam ending in the avarna, in this case akara in this case, for which is a bhasanya, and this pratyaya in is a pratyaya. So then we get the, otherwise we look at adguna would have come over here, which we don't want. So then now that becomes kalpa, kalpa, vriksha, kalpa, if you may copy that, kalpa vriksha phaladharmin. Okay, kalpa vriksha phaladharmin. Phaladharmin will become dharmin now, dharmin. Okay, we got the pratipadikam. So what we used was, we used the yachibham followed by yasyeti cha. And now when we decline that, bring the pratyaya su. So because now we are talking about what the, who is it qualifying? It's an adjective. Who is it qualifying? So we are looking at this one, kangshitam. This kangshitam is a desire, wish. Dhatu is kangsh. The kangshitam, which is, the desire. Desire. So now here also interesting thing is that the kangshitam, actually we are creating a noun form. As you say, these neuter nouns can be created also in this way, like hasitam. So balakasya hasitam. So let's look at it for 1 second. Is normally when we talk about this pratyakta, using to make an adjective. Like maya drishtam idam. So this is yuddham maya drishtam. I saw the war taking. So drishtam is going to qualify somebody as an adjective, right? So now these adjectives but this is not adjective, is it? Kangshitam is now a noun. How do we know that? There's one big hint in this shloka, by the way. It is shashti bahuvachanam, sukritam. See, normally when you have that usual nishtha pratyaya in the sense of, the adjective, with that titiya has to be used with that. Right? So Ramena Vali Hataha, simple sentence. So Vali was killed by Ramaha. Now that Hataha is qualifying Vali and it Ramena. But here we don't have. We don't have the Sukrit Bhe. The Sukritam we have Shashti. Sukritam is Shashti that we have. So now that gives you a hint, like Balakasya Hasitam. Right? So that, so we can say, so Balikayaha Jalpitam means that the talk of the girl or the laugh of the boy. So it becomes Balakasya. So Sukritam Kangshitam is like that. This, as I said to you, is only one single Padanashtadhyayi, where Panini forms nouns from verbs. That's 3.3. And there he goes in the order of masculine, feminine, neuter. So he starts with the Pratyaya Ghani, etc. Then 3, 4, 18, 3, 3, 18, 19, he starts with that. And then he goes on to the feminine nouns, which come from 3.3.94. And then after that, he starts with neuter nouns. So 94 on starts with 3.10. And then in 113, I think he starts with the Napumsake bhavektaha. Napumsake bhavektaha. This is one that we need. The pratyakta can be the same pratyakta. Remember, taktavatu nishtha, the definition of ta, of nishtha. Ta and tavatu or nishtha. But in napumsake bhavektaha, this ta can be used in bhavartha only. We just express that action, So when you say kangshitam, the kangshitam is the desire. So kangshitam is the desire, So that's what napumsake bhavektaha. Napumsake bhavektaha. Actually, if you, in fact, if you want to do one more thing, where does shashti come from? Where does shashti come from? Because normally if you, any vibhakti assignment, you have to go to 2.3. Any vibhakti assignment, you have to go to 2.3. Okay? And now there you have the sutra which says, because let's go step by step. Then balakasya sitam, right? This hasitam or the sukritam kangshitam. The kangshitam desire off of them. So desire off of that. So here what we need is that in 2.3 is a single pada of the Ashtadhyayi where Panini assigns vibhaktis. Okay. Of course, now some of 2.3 would also go to 1.4 to get the karaka assignments. But ultimately, you have to come to 2.3. Any vibhakti assignment, you have to come to 2.3 and do the vibhakti assignments. And from 2.3.50, I think Panini starts the Shashti Sheshe. And there the important sutram is that Kartukarmanoha Kriti is 2.3.65. He says that, when you have a Krit Pratyaya there and in Kartri or Karmani, then Shashti is to be found. Actually, you know what? I want to give one more. The one that I want is below that. I want 2.3.67. 2.3.67 says Tasya cha Vartaman. Let's look at 2.3.67. That's what I was telling you. This was the hint that this pratyaya, this kta was used as a noun, as a neuter noun, because of the shashti coming in. Let's look at 2.3.67. There's a vartikam on that, 2.3.67, which is what I want to point out to you. 2.3.67, tasya cha vartamane. Let's see what he says. So he says, okay. Now, all right. Let's look at one more thing before that. Is that the default sutra was karmani dvitiya. Any karma will take dvitiya. See, it is a desire of the virtuous people. That's what we have in the shloka. Let's keep track of the shloka. What we have? We have sukritam kangshitam, the desire or the wish of the virtuous people. Okay. So this is the object of them. It's not the doer. It's not the karta. Okay. So normally you should have karmani dvitiya. You should have karmani dvitiya. Now stopping that, that's 2.3.8, 2.3.2, I think. Karmani dvitiya is 2.3.2 in Ashtadhyayi. 2.3.2 is karmani dvitiya. Okay, so karmani dvitiya, 2.3.2. But now, as I said, to 2.3.65, 2.3.65 comes and says that the kartu karmanoha kriti, the krit pratyaya is there. So that pratyaya we are using is kta. That definitely is a krit pratyaya. It's a krit because krit pratyaya start from 3.1, I think 91 this starts. Kudating. So from I think 3.191 or 92 starts the krid ating adhikaraha. 93 I think, I'm sorry, 93. Kudating. So we are using a pratyaya in 3.3 right now. So this pratyaya kta krit pratyaya. So then kartukarmana kriti says that you have to use shashti. That was fine with us. But then below that comes this sutram 2.3.69, which says na la u uka avyaya nishtha kharathatranam. So when these pratyas are used, don't use shashti, go back to dvitiya. So it's too complicated, I hope not. But first thing we had 2.3.2 karmani dvitiya. Then came 2.3.65 kartakarmanoha kriti, use shashti. Then 2.3.69 stopped 65. So we had dvitiya coming over here now. Okay. So in connection with that kangshitam, we have dvitiya with this sakritam. So, but now this tasya cha vartamane specifically says that this kta pratyaya, which is nishtha, because taktavatu nishtha. So Pani says don't use shashti when nishtha pratyaya has been used. Okay, so we have that one. But in this case we want shashti. So 2.3.67 is finally which comes. So let's look at 2.3.67. If you can look at 2.3.67 for a second, let's see what 2.3.67 says. That's the shashti which I'm trying to point out to you. This tasya we already had that. Okay. So here, because he says, how do I know that? Because na la uka uka. So this 2.3.69 iti patishedhe prapte. So that was telling us don't use shashti. Punaha shashti vidhiyate. Again shashti is being used. So there is a vartikam over here also, which says that napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. So that's the one I wanted to point out. Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. So when you form this neuter noun, by the sutram napumsake bhave ektaha, when you form that, with that, in connection with that, shashti has to be used. He says chhatrasya hasitam, mayurasya nrittam. So the dance of the peacock, mayurasya nrittam. kokilasya vyaritam, the chirping of the bird, kokila. So this is, chatrasya hasitam, murasya nuttam. So this one, this kritam which you have in the shloka. So I'll just put like this. So that is the hint. That is the hint that this pratyaya which is being used is not our usual adjective, qualifying something else. It's a neuter noun. Oh, it is only for neuters, nothing else. It has to be neuter only, nothing else. So, okay. So let's this sukritam which has been used here. Sukritam, sukritam, the shashti which has been used, vibhakti has been used is a 2, 3, 67, and that's the vartikam on that. But before that, we had to consider vartikam. Before that, we had to consider the 2, 3, 2 was coming, which was giving dvitiya. Then 2, 3, 65 came, put have shashti in place. 2, 3, 69 would have come and put us back to dvitiya, which is what we didn't want. So we had to use the 2, 3, 67 vartikam to say that that we have to use shashti again with that. And the kangshitam in napumsake bhavektaha, important napumsake. So when you look at a pratyakta which is being used, it is not an adjective, it's a neuter noun. Then think of napumsake bhavektaha. Napumsake bhavektaha, that's what 3, 3, I think 114 was it? 3, 3, around 113. Because the striyam adhikara starts at 112, I think. Striyam tin goes from 94 to I think 112. And then napumsake bhavektaha is 114. Okay, napumsake bhavektaha. So the kangshitam. So kangshitam is 33114. Okay, 33114. 3, 3. So two things. It's a shashti is there with it, connecting with it. And second thing is that it's not adjective to anything else. It's a noun in its own right. And third thing, it is neuter. So maybe I'll put this on. So only for napumsake only in the neuter, right? And it is not an adjective. It's a noun. So neuter noun, and not adjective, And okay, and the thing is that with this, in connection with this, shashti has to be used. So this is how you know this napumsake bhavektaha. Remember these three things. It has to be neuter, it has to be a noun, not adjective, and last thing is that if you have a connecting word with that, that should be in shashti. The shashti has to be used. By this 2, 3, 67 vartikam. Okay, vartikam. All right. Otherwise, it might trip you off because we are so used to looking at the adjectives. This is not an adjective. This is a noun. Okay. So now I think let's see what are we doing now. Let's go back to this one. Okay. So then he says. So who is it qualifying that kalpa vriksha phaladharmin was qualifying the kangshitam? The kangshitam is a neuter noun. If you want to finish declension of this one, the kalpa vriksha phaladharmin, then we'll have to decline in the neuter. Okay, it is in the pratyaya su. So take this kalpa vriksha phaladharmin. Okay, and then you have to. In fact, let's put right here. Okay, we'll put in the pratyaya su after that because that's the subject of that word of that sentence. So kalpa vriksha phaladharmin was the pratyaya su. Okay. Of course, this is by 412, so just amount. Then we can do the samo napumsakat luksyat. So after the, if you have neutral pratipadikam, followed by su or that su or takes look. Samo napumsakat luksyat. So any neutral pratipadikam, followed by the prathama, ditya, ekavachanam, su or it takes look. Samo napumsakat luksyat. The 7, 1, 23, 24, I think 20, 23 it is. Samo napumsakat 7, 1, 23. And then when you have the kalpa vriksha dharmin, it will become a because the sup came and went. So pratyaya lope, pratyaya lakshanam, suptingantam padam, you get pada sanya. Then you have to apply na lopa pradipadikanta. If you have a nakara, the pradipadika nakara, which is now padanta, it takes lopaha. So 827. So finally you're going to get this form kalpa vriksha phaladharmi as a subantam padam, which is going to be napumsaka linge. Prathama ekavachanam. So kalpa vriksha phaladharmi. So what we applied 7, 1, 23 samo napumsakat luksyat, and followed by 8 to 7 na lopa pradipadikantasya. So after all that we got this one kalpavruksha phaladharmi. So it is not an ikaranta shabda. It is a nakaranta shabda, innanta shabda. But because of this samonapumsakar, the su went away, na lopa pradipadikantasya. That's what we gave us the final form of kalpavruksha phaladharmi. It's qualifying this kangshitam. So the desire of the virtuous is such that it has the nature of the fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree. Okay. And now he says that sukritam punya karinam. So sukrit is, this pratyaya is, quip pratyaya you add with the dhatu kru. So karoti iti krit, one who does that. Sukrit is one who does good actions. So punya karinam. Kangshitam, he gives manorathaha. Look at, that also was a hint for you, by the way. So besides the three things which we looked at, neuter, noun, shashti is there with it in connection with that, and the commentary. Kangshitam, he says manorathaha. He's not putting kangshitam adjective to anything else. He's supplying another noun, which is in this is a masculine, that's okay, but he's supplying another noun as a meaning for kangshitam. He's not put kangshitam as an adjective for anything else. The kangshitam is manorathaha. Sadhya eva pachyate, because it fructifies immediately. So instantaneously it bears fruit. Okay. Now the last part which I was giving as homework as last time is karma kartari lat. Karma kartari lat. Now swayam eva pakvam bhavati tyastaha. Swayam eva. And I think I put in document last time is that when you have the simple sentence is like this, is that kalaha phalam pachati, is that time, kind of makes the fruit ripe, ripens the fruit. Then phalam pachyate swayam eva, the fruit ripens. The fruit really is the object of the ripening. Okay, it's really the object. But now it has become, when in the second sentence, phalam pachyate, that kala has gone away now. It's kind of implied in that. So this phalam, which was actually the karma, has now become the karta. So it acts on itself, so to speak. So phalam pachyate, swayameva pachyate, is that the fruit ripens itself. When that happens, even though phalam has the katru sanya, it is karmavat, which means that the operations, which became specifically these two operations, the operations which are given by, when in the passive form, karmavat, in the passive form you can only use the atmanipadam endings. So 1, 3, 13, a very important rule, bhava karmanoho. In bhava and karma, in the impersonal passive and the passive, you can only use atmanipadam. Number one, if it is not atmanipadam, it is not passive. Very simple rule. If it is not atmanipadam ending, that verb is not a passive form. Karmani atva bhave na vartate. That's one. Second thing is that our friend kartari shab, which we use all the time, kartari shab, but prior to that was sarvadhatu ke yak. Again bhava karmanoho. So we will not get shab or anything, we will get the pratyaya yak. So these two operations would not have been possible. Because if you just take phalam plus dhatu pach, so that phalam is a karta now. The fruit ripens, but the fruit is really ripening itself. So really is the object. It is also the object, it's ripening itself. So when that karma karta even say, the karma and the karta has become like one single thing. So fruit ripens itself. When that happens, you have to invoke these two rules. That's why Panini put the Sutram 3.187. So is that this only apanipadam has to be used, and the pratyaya yak will have to be used. As so whatever you do in the karmani operations, those same operations comes in what is called, what Malinatha has put for us here, which is called the karma kartari. Means this karma, which has now become the karta. So karma kartari lat. This was called karma kartari. Is the karta which is karmavata. Because of the fact that he is really the karma, but he is kind of acting on himself as a karta. So swayam eva pakvan bhavati, and then he quotes sutram karmavat karmana tulya kriyaha. iti karmavad bhavat bhava karmanoho iti atmanepadam. Iti atmanepadam. Not only atmanepadam, but also that yak pratyaya is coming. Instead of becoming pachati, become pachyate. Pachyate. So you got the yak pratyaya, also you got atmanepadam. Of course, after that it's easy because bring the pratyaya ta atam ja, and then tita atmanepadanam tere become pachyate. So that's this 3187. Remember this technical term, karma kartari. Karma kartari means something which is really the object, it become like the karta. Karta and karma become one now. And then you have to treat it, the operations which have to be done karmani have to be done this karma kartari also. But specifically, atmanepadam has to be used. Specifically, the sarvadhataka yak has to be used. If sarvadhataka pratyaya is following, you have to use the yak. Rather become pachati, become pachyate. Because it's obvious, because it's cooking itself. It's ripening itself. It's not ripening something else. So let's quickly look at, so that's the last thing in this shloka. So it took a lot of time. I hope this is what you guys are looking for, because, unless we go into some of these details, how will you learn these things? Because if you just want to get the English meaning, in Tika, you can do on your own, I think. You don't need the class for that. But to understand what exactly they're saying in the Tika, or in the Bhashyam, or in, that's what or even in the Shloka itself, we need to learn Vyakara. That's the purpose of this class. Just want to translation, we can go much faster, but you will not get this. But then if you do when you want to read something on your own, then what do you do after that? You have to get these fundamental concepts. So let's look at 3187. Okay. So karmastha kriyaya tulya kriyaha. What it's saying is that there was a kriya, which was, they say, kalaha phalam pachati. That kriya was based on that phalam. It was ripening the fruit. So karmastha kriyaya. With that kriya, now in the second statement, which is that phalam pachyate, has the same kriya. So karmasthaya kriyaya tulya kriya karta. It is a karta. The phalam is the karta in the second sentence. But it is the same action which was there, which was when it was the karma. The same karmastha kriya is still here also. Same kriya is there. In that case, karmavat syat. And then he also makes a comment here, is karyatidesho ayam. Karyatidesho means this atidesha, means extension. That this karta will be considered as a karma. Why make the extension? What's the big deal? The extension is that the karyatidesha means to do some operations. Okay? Tena, and he gives the operations here. The yak, which we just saw, this savadhatika yak, atmanepadam. And then he gives two more, chinvad and itaha. This we don't have them right now. Chinvad, bhava, itaha we don't have. Siho. So by this karyatidesha, we can do the yak, we can do the atmanepadam, the chinvad and the it, which we don't have to do right now. So pachyate phalam. The same is pachyate phalam. Vidyate kashtam is that the wood splits on its own. So vidyate kashtam. Can go to Kashika also. He also gives yak atmanepada chinvad bhavaha prayojanam. So what's the prayojanam? What's the use of sutram? Is the yak and atmanepadam and then chinvad bhava. We should have to worry about that. Okay, now here he gives yasmin karmani katrubhute api tadvat kriya lakshate yatha karmani sakarta karma bhavati. So that same action of ripening, which was really based on the karma, the fruit before. So yasmit karmani katrubhute, that karma which is the phalam has now become the karta. So yasmin karmani katrubhute, which has now become karta. Katrubhute api, even then tadvat kriya lakshate, the same kriya which was there before, tadvat. Yatha karmani, so that which was in the karma, same is now coming in the karta also. Sakarta karmavad bhavati, and then he gives, okay. So in what it means, karma ashrayani karyani pratipadyate. So that means that the action which would have been done in the karmani, the same actions can be done over here. So that is it. So this is not a very common usage, but you see it once in a while. The thing is that the atmanepadam will come. So the same form like you get in karmani, you get the same form in kartari, so to speak. You're wondering how did we get that form when we don't really have karmani? But that's what is called as the, the kartra, and the karta has become like a karma. Karta has become like a karma. So, okay. So that's what he's saying by this, what his usage is, the karma kartari. Okay, let's see. Who do we have for translation? Okay, Nagarajji is here.
Namaste. Namaste.
I'm sorry, I hope I didn't bore you too much, but...
No, I absolutely like it.
There's too many details maybe for you, but I know I like to give more details. Whatever you can pick up, you pick up.
I'll pick up part of it. I won't pick up everything, but...
It's okay. What they will repeat themselves, they will repeat themselves. Hopefully,
Yes.
Anyway, it takes about 4 or 5 listenings to get sinking into you, So,
right.
Okay, so let's look at the good translation is given here. No sooner did he wish. Okay, this no sooner, you see this chakara dvayam. These two chakaras which are coming here.
Right. Cha snusham, cha enam.
And cha enam. So that's the no sooner. It's an idiomatic usage, okay? So as you put, we already put in document, we already did that, is that the chakara, what we put in document? We put chakara, do chakara, tulya kala dyotanarthau. Oh, I'm sorry, typo here. One second. Dyotanarthau. Okay, dyotanarthau. Okay, so that was what he's saying. That is the thing. Okay. Now, what is he in the shloka?
Saha.
Saha, very good. He.
Saha.
Wish.
Anviyesha.
So anu-ish, anviyesha, this wishing.
Anviyesha.
Is an anviyesha. For a suitable, that is what?
Sadrishim.
And then daughter-in-law?
Snusham.
Okay. Again, if you don't get all the grammar, at least in the end, if you can get the meanings and get the thing, that at least will be good. So it's a good English translation that we have. So, to himself, just snusham only, I think, snusham. Then, there's no sooner than is the chakara dvau. And the brahmana, what's brahmana?
Dvijaha.
Went to him. Is I think the prapa. It means he reached him. He found him. He reached him. Prapa. Okay, now I think we finished the Anviyesha we got, Sadrishim we got, Saha we got, Cha we got, Snusham we got, Prapa we got, then Enam, that's him, and Anukula Vak remaining now. So what is he saying that? With a message just such a one as he liked. Anukula Vak. That as he had Anukula is that as he liked, Anukula as he liked, and the message is the Vak, he's putting a message. Okay. For, what is the word for? For is the he. Very, very common usage, because for is he. Okay, so when you find this he in the second half of a shloka, that's kind of justifying or kind of giving a reasoning for the first. It's very, very common usage. Very, very common usage. Okay. In fact, let's go to Gita for a second. Dharmyad yuddha chayo nit kshatriyasya nividyate. Dharmyad yuddha chayo nit kshatriyasya nividyate. Let me see if I can find it. But the he is coming there, Dharmyadhi. Dharmyadhi. Okay, so let's look at this shloka quickly. It says, Swadharmopi cha vekshani vikampitum arhasi. But you should not tremble like this, because you're considering your own dharma also. You should not waver like this, because dharmyadhi chayonyat kshatriyasya vidyate. There is no better good for a kshatriya than a righteous war. So because this he is because. So he will come in, in fact, comes in Gita one more place. Etadi durlavataram, etadhi. So this is very common usage. You have to get used to this. This he coming in second half. Athava yoginam eva kule bhavati matam. Yoga bhrashta. Or he is born in the family of the yogis. Yoginam eva kule bhavati. Etadhi, because etadhi durlavataram. Because the he can also mean indeed. Can also mean indeed or because. It's a usage. But try the meaning of because first. If it doesn't work, you can make it indeed. Sometimes both might work. Because it's a yoga bhrashtaha. So because he's also he's a punyatma. So because he's born in the family of yogis, because this is a very rare birth to get a birth of this kind. Or you can say indeed it is birth. So it may not be because all the time, but try using the because meaning first. Okay. So anyway, coming back to our shloka right now, is the this for or because is the he. Is the he. Okay, that's the he. Okay. Then the next one he takes is the desire. What is desire?
Kangshitam.
Kangshitam. That's the noun. Desire is the noun. Kangshitam. Of the virtuous.
Sukrutam. Kangshitam.
Sukrutam of the virtuous. Which partakes of the nature of the fruit of an all-yielding tree. Okay.
Kalpavruksha phaladharmi.
Dharmi. Because the partakes of is that ini pratyaya ini, which has that. Because even Maliyasa told us already, soasyasti. It partakes of soasyasti. Okay. So that the pratyaya ini. Then the nature is dharma. Fruit is of course phalam. Of the tree is vriksha. And the all yielding, this is the kalpa puraka vriksha. Supply puraka in between. That's what we call a shaka parthiva. It's supply in between to make the karmadharya compound. Okay. So all yielding tree is ripe. Is the pachyate. Pachyate. Right?
Yeah. Pachyate.
And at once is what? Quite at once.
Sadhya eva.
Sadhya. Sadhyas. Sadhyas. Very good. So all at once. So again, we're doing a lot of details. I hope I'm not boring you too much, but
Satishji,
yes.
I just want to make a comment here.
Yes.
Sundarakantam, very first, Atho Ravani Ravananithayaha Sitaya Shatvakarshanaha Yesha Padaman Veshtum Charana Chariteti.
So Yesha is there, right?
Yeah, Yesha. And I was wondering whether Padaman Veshtum also the Isha Dhatu there?
Yes. Yes, Anveshtum. So I think Anveshtum, I think that looks also like that. Or so I think that might be there. I'll double check, but it looks like it, yeah. So means to search for. Okay, so send me a shloka, I'll look at it in detail first when I'm having the class. So what I can do now is give you some homework for next time. Your time is almost up. So let's see what this is a short commentary on this. So we do Padacheda and look at the brief meaning and some important grammatical points. We can do that. So Tasya Kalpita Puraskriya Videhe Shushruvan Vachanam Agrajan Manaha Uchachal Balabhit Sakho Vashi Sainya Renu Mushitarka Diditihi Tasya Kalpita Puraskriya Videhe Shushruvan Vachanam Agrajan Manaha Uchachal Balabhit Sakho Vashi Sainya Renu Mushitarka Diditihi. Even if you can just pronounce it correctly, loudly, please do that. Tasya Kalpita Puraskriya Videhe Shushruvan Vachanam Agrajan Manaha Uchachal Balabhit Sakho Vashi Sainya Renu Mushitarka Diditihi. So now, in fact, this didhiti, this dhatu didhi, which is a rare dhatu didhiti. So didhiti. Didhi, in fact, if you can look at, I hope you're using these resources well. If you look at the dhatu partha that we have online, you can look at the dhatu over here. Let's see, quickly go there. It's a rare dhatu, not used, but it comes in the Lalita Sahasranama. So even if you chant that, because here you have, because nakha didhiti sanchanna namajjana tamo guna. Nakha didhiti sanchanna namajjana tamo guna. Because the didhiti is the luster of prakasha, the luster, prakasha, brilliance, of the Devi's nails. Nakha didhiti sanchanna namajjana tamo guna. So chad it removes the tamo guna of those who worship her. So nakha didhiti sanchanna namajjana tamo guna. So that is the one coming in the Mahatyam. It also comes in the Bhagavad Puranam. It also comes in Raghuvamsham, but it is not a common dhatu. It's not a common dhatu. But let's try to go and see dhatu partha. Okay, dhatu partha. Okay, I think you have to let me look it over here. So searchable dhatu patha. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Let me look at this one. Open it in tab. This word didhiti should be here. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Didhi. Didhi. Paniya sutam didhi ve vitam. Didhi ve vitam. Well, point talks about that. So, didhita. So, didhi ve vitam. See, dhatu didhi is there. Dhatu didhi. So, homework for you. First homework for you is that if dhatu was didhi, how it become didhita? So, didhiti. So didhiti. So what made this into this didhi ve vitam? So maybe you can look at the dhatu vritti, try to find answer to this. So didhing is a dhatu. So didhi is the deepti devanayo. So deepti. So first thing for the next time homework is take this dhatu didhi. Maybe you can Rupamala, Rupamala you can look at the dhatu vritti maybe and try to find the answer of how is dhatu didhi made it into the didhiti. I can give you one hint, by the way, is that you know the sutram, this pratyak tin never takes idagama normally. Normally skriyam tin pratyaha never takes idagama. Remember that. There's no idagama for this pratyak ti, this ti. Because in 729 Panini specifically puts ti through this pratyak ti. These pratyas don't take an idagama. And the main one is this pratyaya ti in the beginning itself. Okay, so look at that sutram. Okay, and there I think maybe you will find a vartikam in that. In fact, I can be like most of the okay. I'll give you one more hint because we had a pratyaya ti, but look at the 729. 729. If you look at that sutram, you can then take it from there and from the homework figure out why we did not get 729. If you look at the sutram 729, and there you can 729. Okay, 729. And now that you have the online dhatu vritti, you can practice from that also and see if you can find anything over there. So 729, take the dhatu didhi, and somewhere here, you may find a vartikam here. Let me see. I think there might be something here. Okay, give me 1 second. At 729. Normally there should not be any idagama for this pratyaya tin, but there might be a vartika. I thought there's a vartikam on that. Maybe let's see. Give me 1 second. Let me look at this. 729. 729. Deeptihi. Deepita Kritinshtam Didhi Vevitam Kriticheva. Okay, I thought it was. Okay, I'm sorry. I opened up this can of worms, I guess. Okay, you know what we can do is we can quickly go to, I thought it was under the sutram, but I guess it's not. Let me see if we can, if any comment is made by our dhatu patha. Let's see, we can start from there. Let's look under di, dakaraha. So didhi vevitam, didhi vevitam, dhatu, didhi. Let's see if we see under didhi. Okay, maybe he can help us out. Didhi. Okay, didhing, here it is. Adadigana. Didhing is a dhatu. Didhing. So let's start there. So let's see if we can find him here. Okay. So didhing, didhi te ajado yonakoti en yonakoti titve. Okay, let's go next page. Let's see if you can. You might find the form didhi in here. Didhi tam, didhishva, didhita, didhishta. Okay. Here, look at the form. Here we found it. Okay, this is what I mean. This dhatu vritti is such a useful tool, you know. See what he says. In fact, he gives the whole answer for you here. Okay, so for homework, just look at this line, okay, and see. It says, didhitihi, sanyayam ktichi, chitutra, iti in nishedo na bhavati, agrahadinam iti tatroktatvat. This is a vartikam agrahadinam. So that's, I was right on that. It is on that sutram itself. So that agrahadinam. Somewhere here you'll find the, see, agrahadinam. So titra iti agrahadinam iti vastavyam. So look at that one and you can find the answer. So that's one homework. So 729 vartikam. See if you can, and look at the dhatu vritti. if you can get the form didhitihi. So now the simple sentence here is that there is one word called shushruvan, where the pratyaya called kwasu is there. Is the tasya agrajanmanaha. So Balabhit is, in this case, Balabhit Sakha is Dasharatha. Dasharatha, who was the helper or the friend of Indra. Indra is Balabhit, and who was Vashi also, who was also self-control. He heard the words of that priest who had come there, who had been properly honored. Kalpita Puraskriya Vides, qualifying Agrajanmanaha. And Vachanam Shushruvan. Shushruvan Pratyak Kwasu. Okay, Kwasu we'll do next time. If you want to just review quickly, under this Kwasu is what's called as a perfect participle. Just like we had the present participle and the past participle, you also have the perfect part in the Bhute Adhikaraha. Okay, it's Pratyak Kwasukam, Kwasushcha Sutram. If you want to do some homework, look at the Sutram Kwasushcha. Is this one, 32107, look at Kwasushcha and see if you can derive Shushruvas Pratipadikam, Shushruvastikam Shushruvan. So 32107, you can do that. And then he gives Shrunotehe Kwasuhu. And then this one is whole compound is qualifying this Dasharatha. Is such that his army, the dust raised by his army, was kind of robbing the sun of its luster, was covering up the luster of the sun. So Uchchachalam is Pratasthe. So having heard what the priest had to say, Dasharatha, he set out to Mithila, in such speed that the dust raised by his army was kind of covering the luster of the sun, or robbing the sun of it. Mush is to rob, to steal. So stealing the light of the sun. So that is a simple sentence. So one more time, homework for you, Diditi, if you can derive that. Shushruvan from the Sutram Kwasishcha. The rest of them are easy forms. Most of them are easy forms. So we'll continue next time. So Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Vihata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bho Rama Mahamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tutulyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Undamiti. How are you doing, Vasu?